Let me ask you something uncomfortable. Why do some people stay trapped in the same problems for 10, 20, even 30 years? It's rarely bad luck. It's because they keep repeating the same self-defeating behaviors without ever questioning themselves. And here's the twist most people never notice. Stupidity isn't about low intelligence. It's about repeating choices that sabotage your life even when the truth is staring you in the face. Welcome back to the channel. Today's video might provoke you, maybe even make you defensive, but it will also sharpen you. Because the Stoics revealed a brutal but freeing truth. An unexamined mind guarantees repeated suffering. The wise grow because they study their patterns. The foolish suffer because they defend them. So if you're ready to break the cycles that silently hold you back, stay with me. We're about to uncover 7 things only foolish people keep doing, and how to stop them before they quietly ruin your life. 1. They always assume they're right. There's a type of person who moves through life convinced they've already figured everything out. They don't listen, they don't question, they don't self-reflect. They cling to their opinions like a drowning man clings to driftwood, not because it saves them, but because they're terrified of facing uncertainty. That's the irony. The people most obsessed with being right are usually the ones most terrified of the truth. You've seen them everywhere, at work, in your family, online. Always arguing, never learning. They confuse stubbornness for confidence, loudness for certainty, and ego for intelligence. Here's the reality most never face. If you can't admit you're wrong, your life can't move forward. I once watched a man, smart, capable, destroy his credibility in a single meeting. Someone gently pointed out a flaw in his plan. Instead of asking, "What do you see that I don't?" he erupted. Charts, excuses, sarcasm, anything to avoid acknowledging reality. He didn't lose the argument. He lost the room, and he never got it back. That's what arrogance does. It blocks wisdom and pushes people away until your world shrinks to a place where the only voice you trust is your own. Epictetus said it perfectly. You cannot learn what you think you already know. Certainty is blindness. Humility is strength. The smartest people you'll ever meet are the quickest to say, "I might be wrong," not because they lack confidence, but because they value truth more than ego. Stupid people defend their opinions. Wise people defend their growth. So here's your Stoic practice. Before responding, ask yourself, do I want to win, or do I want to understand? Those paths almost never lead to the same destination. A person obsessed with winning learns nothing. A person willing to be wrong becomes unstoppable. 2. They repeat the same mistakes and expect different results. There's a quiet tragedy you see everywhere. People living the same year on repeat and calling it a life. Same choices, same traps, same toxic partners, same excuses, and somehow, they still hope things will magically improve. It's the illusion of the foolish. Maybe this time it'll be different. With no change in mindset, no change in discipline, no change in behavior. Just empty hope. Life doesn't improve by accident. It improves by recognizing patterns. Marcus Aurelius wrote that suffering comes not from events, but from our interpretations and repeated reactions. Translation: your suffering repeats because you repeat. Most people don't have new problems. They have old problems wearing new costumes. I knew a man in his 40s, kind, talented, whose life was always chaos. Not because he was unlucky, but because he kept recycling the same destructive loops. He trusted the wrong people, spent money to cope with stress, avoided conflict until everything exploded. Every year he'd sigh, "I don't know why life keeps doing this to me." Life wasn't doing anything to him. He was doing it to himself. Here's the harsh truth. If you don't learn the lesson repeats, louder each time. So here's the Stoic solution. Stop obsessing over outcomes and start analyzing patterns. Because you don't rise to your goals, you sink to your habits. Do the pattern audit. 3 ruthless questions. What behavior did I repeat that created this outcome? What emotion drove that behavior? Fear, ego, loneliness, comfort? What tiny shift can break this loop today? Your life becomes predictable once you recognize your patterns. And change becomes possible once you break them, one at a time. 3. They react emotionally instead of responding intentionally. If there's one habit that destroys careers, relationships, credibility, and inner peace faster than anything, it's emotional reactivity. Stupid people react. Wise people respond. One insult, explosion. One inconvenience, meltdown. One disagreement, war. Their emotions steer the car, and the crash is inevitable. Marcus Aurelius said, "You don't have to let it upset you." Keyword, let. You allow emotions to hijack you. Reactivity hands your entire life to temporary feelings. And temporary emotions love to create permanent damage. I once worked with a talented man who ruined his future with one emotional outburst. A minor scheduling mistake triggered a full eruption, yelling, slamming things, blaming innocent people. The mistake wasn't the problem. His reaction was. Opportunities vanished overnight. Trust evaporated. Not because he slipped up, everyone slips, but because he had no control over himself. So ask yourself, how many arguments got worse because you spoke too fast? How many opportunities slipped away because you reacted instead of thought? How many days you ruined because one emotion took over? Here's the Stoic cure. Simple, powerful. The Stoic pause. Stop the impulse. Don't talk. Don't act. Freeze. Breathe to reset your body. Long exhale. It turns your brain back on. Ask, what would the strongest version of me do right now? Not the emotional version. Not the insecure version. The powerful version. Every time you choose discipline over impulse, your character strengthens. Every time you choose calm over chaos, you gain respect. Every time you choose intention over emotion, you build a life you're proud of. Stupid people let emotions drive. Wise people listen to emotions, but never let them steer. 4. They blame everyone except themselves. This is the habit that keeps people stuck for decades, refusing to take responsibility. For the foolish, nothing is ever their fault. The ex was toxic. The boss was unfair. The timing was wrong. People weren't supportive. The universe wasn't aligned. Everyone's guilty, except them. But here's the truth. The moment you blame others, you give them control of your life. Stupid people think blame protects their pride. Wise people know responsibility protects their future. I knew a man who lost 3 jobs in a row. Every time, the same excuse. Management didn't appreciate me. Once is misfortune, twice is questionable. 3 times, it's a pattern. And patterns reveal truth. The Stoics taught, freedom begins the moment you accept your role in your own suffering. Not because everything is your fault, but because everything is your responsibility. Responsibility is power. It gives you control, clarity, and growth. Blame feels good. Responsibility feels uncomfortable. That's why so many avoid it and stay stuck. Do the responsibility reset. Name your part honestly. Not exaggerated guilt, just truth. Choose one correction, not 10. 1. Release what's outside your control. Blame keeps you powerless. Responsibility makes you dangerous. 5. They talk about goals instead of taking action. There's a type of person who mistakes talking for progress. They talk about getting fit, starting a business, fixing their finances, changing their life. But one day never arrives. Why? Because stupid people confuse intention with action. They get a dopamine hit from talking about change, so they never actually start. Your brain rewards you for bragging about your goal, so it loses motivation to chase it. The Stoics hated this behavior. Epictetus said, "Don't explain your philosophy. Embody it." The wise don't announce. They execute. The foolish perform ambition but refuse the discipline. Every time you talk instead of act, you lose. Respect from others. Trust in yourself. Belief in your own capability. That's why the strongest people rarely make big public declarations. They simply do the work and let the results speak. Here's the fix. The ugly first step rule. No planning. No posting. No fantasizing. Just do the smallest, ugliest version of the task right now. Write one messy paragraph. Do 5 push-ups. Save $20. Send 1 email. Ugly actions build momentum. Momentum becomes identity. Identity becomes change. Stupid people dream loudly. Wise people work silently. 6. They surround themselves with the wrong people and stay too long. If you want to predict someone's future, don't look at their goals. Look at their circle. Stupid people choose comfort over character, familiarity over future. They fear being alone more than being held back. But the Stoics knew, your environment shapes your mind, and your mind shapes your destiny. Sit with angry people, you become angry. Sit with lazy people, you become lazy. Sit with complainers, you complain. People are contagious. I watched a man with huge potential slowly dissolve into a dead-end group of friends who lived in the same loop, drinking, complaining, wasting time. He used to dream big. Then he stopped. Not because he changed, but because his environment did. The wise choose their circle the way a surgeon chooses a tool. Carefully, intentionally, with purpose. Do the circle check. 5 brutal questions. Who makes me weaker? Who drains me? Who never supports my growth? Who discourages my ambition? Who benefits from me staying the same? Your answers reveal everything. Growth requires subtraction. Not everyone deserves access to you. Stupid people stay where they're comfortable. Wise people walk away when their future demands it. 7. They never learn from failure. This is the clearest divider between the wise and the foolish. Stupid people treat failure like judgment. Wise people treat failure like information. Stupid people get defensive. Wise people get curious. Stupid people repeat the same disaster. Wise people only need one lesson. 2 people can face the same setback. One rises. One repeats. The difference? One studies the failure. The other hides from it. Seneca said suffering becomes unbearable only when you refuse to learn from it. Failure isn't your enemy. Avoiding its lessons is. Most people repeat painful experiences because they never ask, what exactly is this teaching me? That's not bad luck. That's unfinished learning. Here's the Stoic fix. The 72-hour autopsy. When you fail, don't spiral. Don't numb yourself. Don't blame. Wait 72 hours, then ask, what actually happened? Without excuses. What belief, habit, or blind spot created this? What one adjustment will prevent this from repeating? Failure doesn't break you. Refusing to learn from it does.